Hello, I'm Bert Oliver, and welcome to this edition of Bowie News and Views. And our co-host, co-anchor John Rouse will introduce our guest today. John?
Well, thank you, Bert. It's a pleasure, a real pleasure, to see the winner of the great marathon for Geraldine Valentino Smith's at-large city council seat, Henri Gardner. That must have been quite a session, 23 candidates.
Well, I mean, basically, one good thing is that I didn't have to sit through it. I really pity the other council members that did have to sit through. Yeah, it was quite a bit.
Can you imagine? And you had there was some strange candidates out there.
Well, I didn't have a chance to see any of them,
but I see it?
No, I didn't. I did see go through and look at some of it later, but I was able to look at many of their credentials and able to see what was submitted, the resumes and all, and really strong candidates. And it was really impressive to see good people come out and want to be a part of the city.
Number. I expected one.
Okay.
You know, the perennial candidate for.
Yes.
But I was surprised. That was almost as many people as voted in the city election.
Well, it did find to be interesting to see so many people come out, and and not find so many people to actually seek office and run openly when the city elections take place.
I think it's great.
That's a good point. But I think, Henri, one thing, I think it just was self-generating too, because I think you had ran for office.
Yes, I did.
Council.
Yes, I did.
And which council seat did you run?
I ran for District 3. At that time, my opponent was
Bowie.
The heart of Bowie, exactly. Well, I like to say Bowie is the heart of Prince George's County.
Well,
so, yes, it is. It is.
That's a good term.
It's the only functioning part.
Well, that is correct. I like to think so. But yeah, so District 3 against my opponent then was Mary Ellen Windland and Todd Turner. Both very fine candidates and very good people.
Right.
So, and now I have the pleasure of working with Todd Turner on the council.
Yep.
Yes.
Todd's a very keen person on government and his experience. And
yes.
Have you ever had any experiences in elected position before? Or?
No, never was elected to office
before. Can you give us a synopsis of your background?
Of my background? Well, many years ago, I was in the military. I started.
Oh, good.
Yes. I left high school. Like many people, my home is Norfolk, Virginia, and Norfolk is a big naval town.
Sure.
But and I had an aunt at the time who recently passed away, who was a recruiter for the Navy.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I came home and had joined the Air Force, so she was not too pleased about that.
I was in the Air Force.
Oh, you were in the Air Force. What was your AFSC?
Huh?
What was your AFSC? Your job there in the Air Force?
Comment. I can't really. I don't remember the AFSC.
The calling numbers.
It was NSA, basically.
Okay.
We were at one of the outlying stations for NSA.
Okay.
We used to listen to all the Russians and what they were up to. And
wow.
back.
Well, you don't want to talk too much about that.
No.
Not too much about that. But yeah, so I joined the Air Force Reserves as a reservist. My parents and I sat down and, they gave me the realistic situation of my family's finances, that it wasn't going to be there too much. They could not be there too much financially for my college education, so I had to make up the difference. So I joined the reserves, and I can say honestly, it was a great experience, a great number of good people that I've met serving in the Air Force Reserves. And there I was a crew chief on the C-5 Galaxy.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I was stationed out of Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, and where the C-5 Galaxy was home of the C-5 Galaxy. So I was a crew chief, just providing maintenance and troubleshooting and cleaning. I remember many occasions having the harness wrapped around myself and being tied to, tied to the wing of an aircraft while just sweeping off snow off the aircraft.
Perfect qualification for the Bowie City Council. Strap yourself in your chair.
Exactly. So, so then from there, I went on to school, went to college, and then after my time in the Air Force, I then came and moved into Washington, D.C. area, and spent some time in the Army Reserves as well. When my time was up with the Air Force Reserves, I really wanted to stay in the Air Force and cross-train into a medic, and they weren't cross-training prior service at the time. At least that's what I was told. So my neighbor across the hall where I lived, she happened to be an Army recruiter, and she enlisted me in the Army Reserves, and she did not tell me I was going back to basic training. So yes, so I went on to Fort Dix, New Jersey for basic training, and then from there to Fort Sam Houston for medical training. And then as time went on, I became a practical nurse in the Army.
Oh, okay. Boy,
Yes.
you've had a varied background.
Well, yeah, I like to
Quite-
say so.
quite good.
My mom says I went from vital science to political science.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. Yeah, so that's pretty much my background on the military area. Then from there, getting into professional career, I started at Sprint PCS as a member of their customer service unit back in the early 90s.
What's PCS?
Sprint PCS, Personal Communication System.
Okay.
Yes, Personal Communication System, and which was formerly American Personal Communications, and then Sprint Spectrum, and then it became Sprint PCS, and then it bought out
okay.
Nextel. And then from Sprint PCS, I went to Nextel, and then from Nextel, I went to CASE, which was CAIS, which was Capital Area Internet Service, and we had what was known as points of presence, POPs, in 42 states across the nation, or areas across the nation, yes. And then so I was in telecom for a number of years, selling account management and handling accounts ranging from federal, state, and local to many private sector. And then, as just to give you a shortened version, long story short, I am now at my current field, and it will Upverse, where I've been there now a little over 6 years, close to 7, and we are a management and information technology firm. We are based out of Washington. We have offices in Baltimore, and we're a minority 8A contracting firm, and we supply contracts to the federal government, or services to the federal government, state and local governments, as well as some commercial clients. Yeah. So we're happy to say that we're operating in the black. This is a very difficult time.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's been really difficult for us, a very bumpy road, and we've had many challenges financially. Banks drawing up our lines of credit.
Well, as a Bowie City Councilman, I think you're going to be facing some financial challenges too.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do see that, and some really difficult decisions are going to have to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it, yeah.
Well, that's a greater challenge than you ever had, because you don't have a lot of expertise in Bowie of cutting budgets.
No,
Because
not
we've
in
been
cutting
so
budgets,
fortunate
not
of
with Bowie, no.
accommodating budgets because we had an increase in income.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right, John. It's a whole new challenge, not only for the present people, but you may be better prepared as a business person
With that background, yeah.
Yes, as you say,
to
Brooke,
contribute.
You're absolutely, well, making those hard decisions, you're correct, and having to do so. My firm, we tried not to do any downsizing of employees, and our office staff that was there, who were support staff, we actually moved them onto assignments and having them billable as opposed to being overhead. So we're able to keep people working, which is most important. Some took pay cuts, but most people are looking, as long as I can continue to work, and continue to meet my ends, and and stay afloat in this difficult time. So it's just finding a shade or finding a cover while the storm is going.
Well, the storm is going, and the storm's not going to get any better.
I don't see anything
really
coming
don't.
anytime soon.
The market's going up, but that has nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
That's,
not immediately. Not immediately.
Well,
yeah.
No, you like every
Not
positive
immediately.
sign you can see, of course, and that is a positive sign.
It is a positive, but it goes
Particularly-
up and down and
Yeah,
up and
it goes
down.
up and
Particularly
down,
a few
up
of
and
us that just absolutely
Well,
lost
you're
sleep at night.
independently wealthy, so you know.
Oh, are you? Well,
Yeah.
look at you. Okay.
Yeah, well, John's retired, and he's not working. I'm retired, and I'm looking for a job.
What do you mean I'm not working? I work for an august news
Yes,
organization.
there you go. Yeah, I see quite a bit of articles with your name on it. You're doing quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
I do
Fine
2
work
columns
as well.
a week.
2 columns a week?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
That's
Okay.
good.
So what did you think
Keeps
about
you
the
straight.
the number of people who came out for the at-large?
I was dumbfounded.
Really?
I was really, really, really surprised. Yeah, because I have, and for a very long time, been kind of annoyed by the apathy politically in this community. We're lucky. A 20% turnout of voters is a record.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And
it could be better. It could
and
be
as
better.
what you and I both know, this was a really important appointment because,
Yes,
like it or
is.
not, that budget has got to be cut. People are going to have to go, and we may have to have a tax increase.
Well, we want to try and first look at protecting and providing our existing services and not trying to look at a tax increase. There are means of managing the city and continuing to operate and moving forward without cutting core services and without having to do any layoffs. We've been fortunate to be one of the municipalities to exist within the state and have not made any sort of cutoffs.
We also have an
layoffs.
excellent reserve.
Yes, an excellent reserve, and I attribute that to both the city manager and our great mayor, Fred Robertson. They've done
Well,
fantastic.
it goes way back.
It goes back, but it says is that they were able to continue on the right path.
If the county had been run as effectively,
yes, the county, the state, and even the federal government on the federal sector. Yes, you have to look at it. A lot of wasteful spending, a lot of just not good. And I can say with both David and Fred here, I've been able to track and see what was going on for a number of years.
Yeah.
And I say this, I didn't just move to Bowie by chance. I chose to live here in our community. I could have moved anywhere in the metropolitan area, and I chose Bowie because I saw all that was being provided here.
You made a good choice.
Well, thank you. And I do believe I did make an excellent choice. I lived in the district, and there were many problems. I could just tell you the number of problems that were there. And those lawmakers over there, they're doing a fine job, too. They're really trying to keep things afloat in these difficult times.
You mean the municipal lawmakers?
Well, those in the district, I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The municipal lawmakers. Yes, those on the city level.
They're not cases in the
not
US
on Capitol Hill.
Congress.
We're not talking of Capitol Hill. But yes, those that are in the Wilson building on Pennsylvania Avenue. Those guys are really working hard to keeping things moving, and but I look at what we have here in Bowie, and we really, I'd like to envision not such a real a thick wall of China to say, but something to continue to keep our core services and our core existence here.
Totally
so
agree.
Some of their problems in other municipalities don't become our problems.
But you do know, I'm sure you know very well, there's a big problem between the city and the county.
Well, yes, there's a big problem.
There's no communication. There was one county councilman who wouldn't even return phone calls.
Who was that county council person?
That was the guy that used to be in that little sliver of Pointer Ridge. Oh, what was his name?
You're talking about Sam Dean?
Sam Dean.
Sam Dean.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's hostility with
and
the county
he ran for
executive.
county exec, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he got creamed.
But he did. My thing is, why ask for a promotion when you're not doing your current job correctly? Yes.
People of this county have no idea how lucky they are to have Rush Big.
I totally agree.
I just hope he gets moving.
Well, I'm certain that Rashawn is going to do a great job. He has to get on there and actually peel the skin back, and now he sees that it is actually an onion, and he has some he has some real issues there, and he possibly a little bit more than he thought that was awaiting for him. So I think we give him some room, give him some opportunity. He'll definitely.
And he has that county council to deal with, which isn't an ideal body.
No, not in well.
I mean, there were good county councilmen.
Yes, some good
but there are also some very bad ones.
Well, yes, some people that are.
Who shall go nameless?
There you go. We won't mention any names.
No names.
But I think we here in Bowie, and we have great representation. And
do you really?
Yes, we do. We have great representation. I am happy to wait the outcome. We have a good senator there, Doug Peters.
Oh, absolutely.
We have Geraldine. She's going to do fantastic jobs. Pardon me, Delegate Valentino Smith, not Geraldine. Delegate Valentino.
Once she ran as Geraldine, so I still call her Geraldine.
Yeah, which was great. She ran an excellent campaign.
You got a sign big as the side of a car that said Geraldine. You got to figure out who else is on that.
Exactly. Well, she did an excellent job.
But you're respectful. Henri, you're trying to be respectful, but it's still Geraldine Doug.
Oh, okay.
I see her with a lot of potential, although she, everybody knows that it's no secret that Mr. Hubbard tried to block her from even becoming in that position. He, made it difficult for her to get contributions. I don't know what his problem is, but they have to work together for us.